A few days ago, I was walking down the park as usual and I saw these bunch of kids playing. But this time they were splitting themselves into two teams for some game that they wanted to play. So after they split themselves, this one little fellow from this team is telling his friend who was on the other team, "I can't help you, you're not my team." I was laughing away. But then even after we've grown up, we haven't changed much. As long as you're on my team, you get those special privileges. If you're on the other team, really not my concern. That evening, I read through the book of Genesis in the Bible, and I read about the family of Judah. Now, Judah had 3 sons, Onan, and Shelah. So Judah gets his oldest son, married to a woman by name Tamar. Tamar was not an Israelite, she was probably a Canaanite. But was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and so he dies even before he has children. So as the culture of those days was, the younger son marries the widow and the children born to them bear the name of the older son. Onan did marry Tamar the widow, but he was not too convinced about having children who would bear his brother's name. So he did something dishonoring so that he wouldn't have children. God did not approve of it. God stood up for a Canaanite as opposing his own people and put Onan to death. Wow, perfect justice, irrespective of which team you belong to. But it's quite scary to be caught in the eyes of a perfect judge. And then I read further about Judah. He messes up his life even more. Unknowingly, he has children through his daughter-in-law Tamar. Shameful. In any culture, at any point of time in history, to have children through your daughter-in-law is shameful. But then I read further to see how God in all his goodness allows Judah to walk into the land of Egypt and finally into the promised land along with these 2 sons born to him through Tamar. And then further I read to see that the God who made heaven and earth comes down to earth and is born in the lineage of this Judah. And he calls himself the Lion of Judah. Whoa! Why would a perfect God want to be born in a messed up lineage like that? That's because as much as he's a perfect judge, he's a God of abundant mercy. And this mercy is what rewrites your messed up story and mine. You may ask me, how can a perfect judge and a merciful God, contradicting characteristics, even coexist? That's because what happened at the cross of Calvary, where Jesus laid down his life for you and me as a ransom, so that we don't have to pay the penalty for our messed up lives. And that's why we set aside 40 days in a year to meditate on the power of this cross. Now, which 40 days really doesn't matter. We don't have to go back and forth debating on that. But the church has put together these 40 days so that as a collective entity, we would focus on the cross. I would encourage you to take time to meditate and focus on the power of the cross, where beautiful, diverse attributes of this God seamlessly converge together for your good and mine. Perfect judge, abundant mercy. Our past mistakes cannot be erased. But because of this abundant mercy available at the cross, your messed up story and mine can be rewritten. Take a closer look at the cross. Have a blessed Lenten season.